Hey, hi team, welcome again to UFT training. So today we are going to focus on what is object repository, right? What are the different types of object repository? And then afterwards we are going to focus on automation testing lifecycle. So let's start and understand what exactly the object repository is. Now you have to understand the term that is object and the another one is a repository. There are two terms. One is an object, right? And the another one is a repository. Repository is nothing but it is a collection. So collection of objects are nothing but in the object repository. So control plus R is a shortcut to get the object repository or the resources and then object repository. We can call this as a shortcut as a OR, remember. Okay. So this all objects are getting recognized or identified by the logical name. There is a something called as a logical name. Now the question is, what is logical name? Where exactly it is exist, right? So we are trying to understand this object repository. Now let's open this UFT, right? In the UFT, I created one, the demo test. Okay, so same way, like right click and then add an new test. So I created one demo test, and then you have to go to the tools, and under this tool you can find out the see, this is what the object spy is there. So you can spy the objects, you can identify the objects, right? And then if you want to add, if it is getting recognized, then you can add into the object repository. So that is the generally we follow the steps. Okay, anyway, so we are talking about the object repository. So you have to go to the resources and object repository, correct? And there is a control plus I. This is a shortcut. So it will open the object repository. And here it is again, we have a shortcut. Now in this object repository, okay, we have to see a different types of the options. Okay, even here we have the object spy. So you can spy the object. You have to check whether this particular object is getting recognized, right? So this is how you can spy it out directly, and if it is getting recognized, then you can add into the object repository. Okay, this is how we have to follow. So let me just explain you about this the object repository. Let's add some the objects into the object repository. So how to add the object into the object repository? Now the first step is, okay, so how to add what is an object repository? It is a collection of objects. Very simple. Control plus R is a shortcut. You have to go to the resource menu and then object repository, correct? So these objects are getting identified with the logical name. Now the first step is, what is the first step say? Now what are the steps are there? The first step is we have to identify that particular object. So we how to add objects into object repository. Okay, so how to add the objects into the object repository? So let me just click on this the plus symbol. Here you can see that it is asking that it is showing that it's add objects to the local repository, correct? Now what is local repository, what is a shared object repository, that we will discuss later on in detail. So let me just add the objects into the object repository. Now this is your flight reservation application, right? And I want to add all the objects into the object repository. So let me just click on the plus symbol, right? And I'm not going to select this particular element or an object. I can click on this, then I can add all the elements, right, which is exist on this in the particular page will get added. Otherwise, if I select this particular username, you can see that, okay, so it is going to ask you that, okay, so this is what the Microsoft sample application. Now, but if I try to click on the, this header, or I can say that the title bar, okay, and then click on the OK button, see, 1 minute, it should ask the options whether you would like to add all the objects into the object repository. So what I did is I deleted that the previous the object. Let me just go to the add local objects, okay, and just click on OK, right? Now this is what a single object is added into the object repository, but I want to add the entire objects into the object repository. Okay, so let me just try it out again. No. Now if you check it out here, I selected this, the windows and then wind list view. Okay, so let me just cancel it out and let me add again. Okay, I just want to add that edit box. Okay, now if you check it out, there is a problem with that. It is not getting added. Why it is not getting added? It means that the particular objects are not recognizing. Might be. So let me just go and check it out using an object spy. Okay, see what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add the objects into the object repository, but it is not getting recognized. So let me just use an object spy, check whether these objects are getting recognized. Now if you see that I'm not able to identify these objects. Okay, see, it is showing the entire window. Okay, and that's why it is taking the only one element. It is not taking username, it is not taking the password, okay, and cancel button, right? So now what I have to do is I have to make some changes and then we can add these objects into the object repository. Now the prerequisite, 1 minute, let me just close this object repository as well. Now you have to see this. Okay, so what are the extensions are there, how to add it, and we can get the recognize the objects. The first setting is very important is your display setting. So make sure that your display setting, okay, is 100%. It should not be more than 100%. Okay, it should be 100%. This is very, very important. And close this. Let me just try it out again using an object spy. Let me just close this flight reservation application. Okay, right? And then again I am going to open it, flight reservation application. Okay, now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to use an object spy. First I want to identify that whether these objects are getting recognized, and then I can add into the object repository. Okay, now you can see that I'm able to identify these elements or an objects. Yes, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so make sure that the setting is it's an 100% display setting. That is very important. The another one is the micro focus UFT should be launched first, and then the application should be launched. Okay, I repeat. See, what you have to do is first you have to launch micro focus UFT one first, right? And after that you have to launch the browser. Say for example, now your browser is already launched or the application is already launched, and then afterwards you try to launch the UFT. Okay, it will not recognize the objects. Getting this point? So the first is you have to open your UFT and then you have to open your application under test. Then and then only the objects will be recognized. Otherwise it won't get recognized. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the points that we have to remember. Now here you can see that all the objects are getting recognized now. No worries, right? So let me just try to add all the objects into the object repository. So let's go and open this in the object repository. Okay. Now this is what I added the last time. Now let me just delete it out. From the for delete you can just the press cross button. It will get deleted. Finish. Now let me just add all the objects into the object repository. So that's why I'm going to click on this in the title bar. So when I click on the OK button, now this is what I'm looking for, right? This option. Now you have to see that it's a selected object only, means it will add only that the main window. It will not add all the child windows or the child objects. Okay, it will add only your parent window. See, try to let's select this the first object. So you can see that it's added only that is the main window, correct? Now you can see the class name is also in the window. It's a class name WPF window. So I will come to this point. These are the properties and the methods that we have to identify. Okay, let me just remove it, or we can add it one by one. See, this is also possible. I can add it the single the object. So whatever the object I needed, I can select this, see, right? So I added this, the objects into the objects repository. Is that clear? Right? So you have to press the plus button. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we selected the option of select limited objects, so it
Uh,
will not select all. It will
yes.
just select
Yeah. I
the
will come
window.
to that point. Yes, definitely. Let me just delete it out this the entire thing. We'll see the other option as well. So now if I select this one, click on OK. Now what I'm trying to do is in the default object types, all object types. Okay. So if you select all object types, let's select all the object types and then click on OK button. So it will added all these images and all everything. Now if you check it out, this flight reservation is also one image, right? Then the question mark is also one image or something, right? So let's see. Let me just check it out. It should be get highlighted over here. So there is a something option is called as a highlight in the application. Okay, now when I press this highlight button, you can see that OK button is getting highlighted. Let me just go and select this agent and highlight it. So see the agent is getting highlighted. Now let me just check it out. This what is the WPF image. So let me just go and highlight it. Okay, this one is the image, and then the another one. I think let's check it out the other image. Right. So this is the another one image. So I don't want this image. I'm not going to perform any kind of activity or the manipulation with these images. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to delete this. I just want to delete it. I'm not going to perform any kind of operation for this images. So unnecessarily it is going to be added into the object repository. So let me just delete it out. Okay. See. Now let me just delete it out. Okay, even for the cancel button, right now I'm not going to perform any kind of operation with the cancel button. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to cancel this. Cancel, we have to delete this object. Now, let's see. When I select this OK button, right, you can see the name, and this name OK is called as a logical name, and this is uniquely identify this object, that is a OK button. Okay, this is called as the name is equal to OK, and this is called as a logical name of that object. Now let me just move to the next button, WPF button. Now if you check it out, WPF button, and I want to highlight it, let me just check it out which is there, this one, right? Whether we want, no, this is a help button. Even I'm not going to perform any kind of the operation with this WPF button. So let me just delete it out. Okay, now the agent name. So you can see that the agent name is agent name, and this is what it is called as the logical name. We can change the logical name, no problem. Okay, and the password also, you can see this is what, so that's why this the objects are getting recognized by name. Okay, this is identified by name. These are called as a logical name. Now if you see this, there is a something called as a class WPF edit. We can enter something into it. So these are the edit, WPF edit, and this is WPF button. So these are the classes are there. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the classes and these are the objects. Okay, and
So
each
can we
and
change the
yes,
logical names or
yes,
no?
is yeah, yeah, we can change the logical name, no problem. Okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me
Okay.
just change this name, and then let's see what will happen. Okay, now there is a one more thing which is called as a repository. Okay, and there are different types of the repositories are there. One is called as a local repository, and the another one is called as a shared object repository. So types of repositories that we will discuss in the next session. Okay, so this is what it is all about, the object repository. This is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can add the objects into the object repository. You can delete the selected object from the cross button. And you want to highlight it. I want to understand which object is there. So I can press on this, the highlight button. It's highlight application. So it will get highlighted. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right. And each and every object has a properties and the values. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right. And we can add the different properties. Say, for example, this particular property is not sufficient to identify this particular element. I repeat, try to understand. Say, for example, there are two agent names are there on the same page. Okay. So how you are going to identify means this UFT is getting identified by name. The name agent name is already there. Again, the second is also agent name. Now you can add, the description properties. If you want to add, say, the other, if you have the name also or some other, the say for example, this one is Dave name or this is already there, right? Or you want to go with the class name. The other property, if you want to add, you can add it from here. Say for example, let me just add it coordinate or XYZ and the width and height, for example, or WPF type name is edit. I want to add this property. Let me just go and add. Now you can see that I added WPF in the type name is edit. Okay, so this is how you can add it and make this the particular object unique.
Okay. So once we change this logical name, we
Hmm.
have to click on the plus button to add it in object repository or
Correct.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So once the update it, so no worries about it. Okay. But the
Mm-hmm.
original name it's okay only, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you want to change, you can change it out. Now let me
Okay.
just try to run the script. Okay. I changed this logical name, right? And let's try
Mm-hmm.
to run the script. Okay. We'll
Okay.
try to run the script. Now what I'm trying to do is I am trying to create a script now. Okay, using this
Mm-hmm.
object repository. So how to create this in the script using object repository, right? Now let me just start with this flight reservation. It's getting highlighted. Now what I want to enter, just you have to select and drag and drop. Okay, just select, drag and drop, and then just select, drag and drop. Okay, now if you check it out, the in the this WPF button, OK one has come.
Yeah.
Correct, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just close this object repository. We are trying to run the script. Okay, and then the set. It's John. Okay, yeah. So we have to give the name. It's John, and then I have to set the password. And let me just go with the set secure method and go with the encrypted format. Okay, so how to get the encrypted from format? There is a something called as a password decoder. Okay, there is a something. So it has a built-in tool. Okay, so once you install the UFT, then you will get it this password encoder. Now
Mm-hmm.
password is HP. Okay, capital HP or small HP, whatever you want to give, and generate this, the encoder. Just copy this encoding string, copy this, okay, and then paste it. Finish. Okay, let me just check it out.
Can you
Okay,
just tell me once again how did you do it?
yes. So you have to go and search for password encoder. Okay, when you type password, then definitely you will get it password encoder. And you have
Okay.
to enter the password. Say for example, it's HP, capital HP or something or small HP. Generate this,
Yes.
copy this, okay, and then
Okay.
run it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is what it's activated. This flight reservation application is activated. Then I try to enter the username, then the password, which is in the encrypted format, and we are trying to click on the OK button. And let me just close this, So I can again go and then I can close it. Okay. So save this file and let me just run it out. Now everything is, we added the objects into the object repository, we changed the logical name, right? Then the password, which is, the encoded, right? So let's try to run this script.
But sir, to close, do we write dot close?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Very good. I just copied and pasted. Right. Perfectly right. So we have to close this. So let me just go and run it. Okay, still it is a temporary run. I am not sure whether it is a pass or a fail. So let me just go and check it out. So this flight reservation, oh, okay, what happened? Now this the browser settings was already done. Okay, so I have to remove that one, and then we can run the script. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So let me just go and change the settings. Record and run settings. Okay, see now this is what make sure that this is also yes, correct. Record and run on any open browser, and then fine, apply. Okay, and let me just run it again. Now see, so now the flight reservation has been closed, right? So we have to launch this flight reservation application. Okay, so the prerequisite, like, it should be launched already, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Okay, now it enters, it clicks on, and then everything is well and good. Clear?
Yes, sir. So why did we do this? What do we say? Uh, Again, we went to record and we changed.
Correct,
Why? What?
exactly, right. The setting was like this. In the previously,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to run on the web-based application, and the run
Okay.
and the record setting for the web-based application. It was
Oh,
not for the Windows-based
yes.
application,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it started with that in the particular application. That is an advantage online in the shopping
Yeah.
platform. So it opens with the
Mm-hmm.
Chrome, and then it started trying to run it, this particular
Okay.
script. So that's why. So make sure that this option
Mm-hmm.
is getting selected for the web-based application, for the window-based application. Just apply
Yes.
and then OK. So
Mm-hmm.
hope this is clear to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay then. Thank you so much. Okay. So next we are going to see what are the different types of the object repositories are there. What is a local and shared object repository? Okay. Thank you.